Warning, warning, breaking news. Bitcoin's going to the moon. This is a 30-second chart, baby dolls. I am trolling you. Really, not much is happening. But we actually do have breaking news 1 hour ago. I'm bringing this to you live. We're going to read this in very thick capital letters. The US Federal Reserve, okay? This is from the ECB. I don't know why breaking news has this here. Look, the Fed, the US Federal Reserve, and the central banks of the United Kingdom, Canada, Japan, and the ECB, the European Central Bank, and even my boys in Switzerland with the chocolate, they have announced a coordinated action to improve liquidity provision through the standing US dollar liquidity swap lines. Translation: mumbo jumbo, up, down, left, right. We printed money and we're just going to leave it on the sidelines. That's the translation. They printed more money. They are now saying we have more lines up there. Now, don't worry about analyzing the little leaves here. We can see the forest, and the forest says one thing. It says, why are you here? Go home, put your pants on. You're disgusting. They also say bears are smelly and poop in the woods. Bears hang around in the forests. Don't be in the forest. Just observe it from the outside. It's okay. The forest says the money supply keeps going up. The fiat Ponzi system, the cycle keeps repeating. When you look back in 2022, you realize, well, no, things really weren't different, but everybody said it was. The good thing is we believed in it the whole time. Now, look, when you see moves like this, see, there's a lot of capital letters. People don't know how to react. So you're not going to see immediate big moves, but this is huge. This is huge. This is basically just confirming to us that everything that was going on with America and the US banking system, there is contagion out there. And contagion refers to banks have assets on their balance sheet and they trade them with each other and they use them as collateral. And it's one big fat fiat Ponzi system, friends. See, in crypto, if you want collateral, let's say you want to borrow money on RV, so the biggest money market in crypto right now, you can put $1 million in RV and you actually need to put in, say, Ethereum. You need to put in like real money. So when you put it in, then you're able to get credited. Maybe you can borrow, 200,000, 300,000, and then you can do whatever you want with the money. But what these banks do, because they're central banks and they literally create it themselves, they have an asset, some collateral, which is like, funds that are supposed to be owed in like 30, 60, 90 days. And what they do is they go deposit it somewhere else and they get given a yield and they swap it around and everybody is cross-collateralized infinite ways. So the whole system relies on everybody doing this. That's the fractional reserve banking system in a nutshell. So anytime there are cracks in the system, if there's a loss of confidence, the ripple effects are enormous because everybody is crossed with themselves so many ways that if there's just a few bad apples, the whole basket gets rotten. And this is turbo bullish for crypto because this is exactly what crypto was made for. We can see problems come and look, they're printing money already. So what's also interesting is GCR, I call him the Grim Reaper. The Grim Reaper, because he forecasted the 2022 bear market, right? The Grim Reaper has spoken his last words of the day. So GCR, he has probably 300 to 400 million net worth estimated. He's a leaderboard trader, so you can't fake that. You cannot fake being consistently on the leaderboard of trading exchanges like that. And he's one of the best forecasters in crypto. He's not going to be the best forecaster forever, I'll tell you that. But for now, he's hot. He's got a hot streak. I've seen many forecasters, predictors come and they can get things really right, man. And, they can convince you that they really know what's going on. But what ends up happening is they're just really good in a certain specific period of time. And this has happened in the stock market. It's happened with hedge funds, economists, macro people for the past like 50, 70 years since they've been recording it. And this is no different, okay? So now that we've just grounded ourselves, let's go through his comments. So Mr. Paulio just says, like, you're acting like the bottom isn't in. This is going to sub $10,000. So he's talking about the Bitcoin price. And GCR says, I've been pretty emphatic. The bottom was in for months now. I set it at 16K, 20K, 22K. I was tweeting, friends, when he said this, it was actually, look, there's no glory in this, by the way. This was after me. So I was bringing to you the signals live when it was happening. And after he confirmed it, I was like, oh, wow, we aren't crazy. We are seeing all the bottom signals, okay? So it's just nice to see someone who thinks in these terms to back us. Now, I would have been long and stayed long anyway. I don't really care. He can say things. If GCR says crypto's going to zero, I'm staying long. Just letting you know. But I don't have any edge in the midterm swing periods, okay? So I can scalp 1, 3, 5 minutes intraday. I'm a day trader. But I have no edge in predicting where things going to be in 2 or 3 days up to like 3 to 6 months. I have no idea. I'm not good with that macro medium term stuff. I can only tell you, all right, you hold this for 1 to 4 years. This is fundamentally undervalued. We're going to kill it. That's where my juice is. So but the one good skill I have is finding people who can fill in the gaps, which is what I've done here, right? So also what he confirms is, remember, I've always told you, bears are smelly and they poop in the woods. So he says, I think people need to finally come to terms that they're never getting the 12K that they wanted, 12K Bitcoin price. Even when we inevitably do get a correction, it will not be back to 2022 lows. So effectively saying the bottom's in, but now you're in a tough spot if you're not allocated because you don't want to buy because you've seen prices go up. But this is the disbelief phase, friends. This is the disbelief phase. And I just want to remind you, I found this tweet of mine. I tweeted this long time ago. This was, it's very interesting to see. So look, at the top of the retail mania in 2021, which is April, when Coinbase did their IPO launch, this Bitcoin poll was done by Michael Saylor. 85% of the crowd was saying to buy Bitcoin, by the way, and mortgage it and short the US dollar. Look at this. So he asked this question literally at the top. Would you rather mortgage your house to buy Bitcoin or sell your Bitcoin to pay off the mortgage to your house? 85% were saying buy Bitcoin, short the dollar. Like, that is so extreme. Now, if you've seen these polls, usually they'll hover between, 40% to 60%. I did not know at the time. If I saw this, I would have made different decisions. If we saw this, 85%. That is so extreme, man. 51,000 votes. Like, that's something to take note of, right? I wonder when they'll come out again and say that. That's something interesting. So we've been confirmed, okay? The swap lines are opening, all these complicated stuff. Do you see how they always do these? They always do these big boxes, friends. This means nothing. All they see, big box here and big box here. It doesn't matter, man. It's the same thing, friends. It's always the same thing. Here's the central bank and here are the little banks, right? And all they do is they go, well, we're just going to print money and give it to you. We're going to print money and give it to you. You in the middle. They look at their sheet and they go, well, you're probably going to get screwed, but we won't print money for you yet until you really need it and we need to save you. That's what they do. And then maybe 3 to 6 months later, they go, oh, we've had to open up another credit swap line for somebody. This is literally how it works. Nobody believes me when I say this. This is exactly how that works. They just pick and choose. Okay, we're going to save you, you. This is the crazy part, friends. This is actually happening. But beautiful part about all of this is you have financial instruments now that you can take advantage of it and you can win. And you don't just win like 7% per year, which is what you're going to get in the S&P 500. You can actually milk it. Like, you can actually crush it. You can actually retire, change life. By the way, wow, look at this weekly candle. Friends, I'm just going to take you back, right? I want to take you back in time. I was so adamant. It was so depressing down here, by the way. Oh my God. You couldn't buy enough water pistols for me and just aim them at my head and just squirt me up and down because I'm like, man, I don't want to sit through this anymore. But I'm just telling you now, during this part down here, when everyone's backs were slanted and they were wearing crumpled slippers, down there, everyone was saying, Diamond Hands is a scam. We are going lower. And it's never going to get better. And macro looks bad right now. Everyone kept saying, macro looks so bad right now. This was the meme. Macro looks so bad, RN, right now. That's all I was hearing. Oh, macro looks bad. And I was firing up. I was like, you are all going to lose. And I'm going to be enjoying the sweet waters of victory one day. Maybe orange juice too, with 5 ice cubes, maybe 3. So when macro looks bad, everything's going down. And I'm like, delete this macro, delete everything. This is why I was making videos and tweets saying, you don't actually care about macro. This is all they were looking at. People were looking at this. They were looking at since April 2022. And they were counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 red candles. They were saying, oh my God, in this year so far, 7 red candles have appeared. And these green ones were nothing. That's all they were saying. That's really what people were saying. They were not saying, oh, macro bad, macro good. I was saying bad news comes out when the candles are red. That's when just all the bad negative sentiment stuff comes out. I kept saying that. This is, if you know anything about trading and investing, you would know this. If you're successful at it, right? If you're professional, you understand this. No good news comes out at the bottoms here. Nothing, ever. I don't know why. Insiders, puppeteers, God, the cosmos, whoever's in control of this simulation, I don't know what it is. I don't know why. This is just what happens, okay? And as soon as the price moves green, the good news comes out. It starts coming out. I don't know why. I don't know why. What you also notice is when you reverse off the lows, you see this big fat green candle. It's some good news, but it's not enough to get the weak hands in. The weak hands get the news up the very tops. So you have these credit swap lines, right? So what I mean by that is we might see at some point, you might see a green candle somewhere this year. Maybe Bitcoin goes from 35 to 45K. Maybe. And this might be the month that the Fed cuts rates by 50 basis points or something, or cuts rates and actually gives the people what they want. They're like, oh, cut rate, we're going to do something here and there. When people hear that, that's the final top for like the next, this phase that we're in, the recovery phase, where we get people just enough hope. They're like, wow, you've removed all of the FUD from me. Regulation can't stop it. Crypto solves all the problems. Crypto's not dead. And the Fed's cutting rates. The CPI is going to go lower. They're not going to hike anymore. Wow, I'm on top of the moon. Once people start feeling that confidence that crypto's recovered, that's where we're probably due for the next poopy phase at some point. That's why if this plays out the way it does, it doesn't have to get up here. But if it does, I'm going to be prepared, and you don't have to do this. I want to be prepared to take anywhere from 10 to 25% of my whole portfolio and just go, whatever, I'm going to park it in each stable coin. And when you guys are crying again in a disbelief collapse, I'll get back in again. Now, we might even get that. If we are going up and down and up and down and do this, and we do this, then I'm not going to touch it. This is just if we get a predictable macro release of people, like, and relief of people like, I can finally get in now. There's no more FUD. Macro looks so good right now. So when all the people who are saying macro looks bad down here, when they start saying macro looks good, that might be where you start to go, yeah, I don't know for now. All right. So most important part, the thesis is playing out, friends. It is. They're going to keep opening up these lines. They're going to keep printing currency. You don't actually need them to hand out money. So this is the beautiful part, right? My final message for you. There are people on the sidelines. They are not going to buy in now. Still. Why? Because they think that they're only going to, they think the market can only go up if the Fed and the central banks literally print currency and hand that out to people individually. They say, hey, here's $800, here's $1,000, go and buy stuff out there. They think the market can only go up that amount. Those people are in disbelief. Those people, they're like, oh, the economy's so bad, we can't possibly go up. But I'm just going to tell you right now, all right? You please straighten your back right now and put your slippers on. So my slippers were actually off during the recording of this video. I'm putting my slippers back on here and I'm tapping away. Can you hear them tapping on the floor, friends? All right. There is 40 trillion in USD cash. Crypto is only 1 trillion. I'm not joking, by the way. This is the real number. This is their confirmed number, which I don't even believe. I believe there's more like 100 trillion out there. So I just want you to know there is 40 trillion out there, friends. I'm just like, look at this. Okay. Just imagine 1 out of 40 of that trillion realizes, oh my God, they're going to print money in the future. So I better allocate now. Okay. That, friends, is 2.5%. 2.5%. That is such a small amount of that big pie. That's how much needs to move to try come into crypto. And by the way, don't get offended here if you're a bear, but you are smelly, you poop in the woods. Crypto is so thin that even if 1 trillion tried to step in, the market cap is not going to go from 1 to 2 trillion. Okay. You might see the market cap go right to 3 or 4 trillion. I love you all, friends. We'll catch you very soon again.